I grew up in the Central Valley of California. It's a farm region. And in my high school, maybe you call it gymnasium here, there was a student who, at the time, I knew pretty well. He was a so-so student, but he was an outstanding human being. He was someone who made you feel comfortable, who empathized, who tuned in, who was fun to be with. 20 years later, I went to the reunion of my graduating class, and he was the most successful person in the class, even though he'd been a so-so student. So that made me think, well, maybe IQ isn't all that you need in life. I went to a very competitive college in the States, and my first year there, I met a student who lived down the hall from me in the dormitory. He was genius level. He got perfect scores on the college entrance exam. He had perfect scores on what we call advanced placement courses, college level courses you take before you go to college. But he had a problem. He couldn't get up in the morning. He couldn't get to class. He never finished his assignments. It took him 8 years to finish his 4-year degree. So my first friend had emotional intelligence. My second friend really had a deficit in at least part of it. When I was at Harvard, one of my friends there, Howard Gardner, did a study that looked at IQ in childhood as a predictor of how well you do later in life. And he found that it predicts about 6 to 10% of career success. I actually was once talking to about 200 CEOs in America, and I asked, how many of you graduated at the very top of your class? And about 2 hands went up out of 200. So there's something else that it takes to be a top leader, to rise to the highest levels in business. And a big part of that, I hope to convince you, has to do with emotional intelligence. I